Hi everyone, Assalamualaikum. Welcome back to our channel.
If you are new to this channel, thank you for choosing this channel and clicking on this video.
Please consider subscribing to our channel and stay in touch with us on our Instagram where we post more of our daily foodie adventures there. This week we are going to have Maggi.
Well, mine actually is Karai miso.
Yeah, we found this.
Yeah.
We went grocery shopping the other day and we found this. This is pretty new to us. I've never seen this before, and I'm sure it's not new to you.
Yeah, maybe.
I guess.
Yeah.
So I'm sure you have tried this, but this is the first time that we are trying it.
Yeah.
Mine is the Sarang kimchi.
Sarang heo.
And Andy has Karai miso. Karai miso. And so to just pair them with, this is kimchi fish strips, and then we also have crab. What's it called?
No, karage. For Japanese, this is kimchi.
No, it's not karage. This is, if I'm not wrong, it's prawn and squid.
Yeah.
Cake. Yeah, prawn and squid cake, I think.
Like that.
Yeah, so kind of like thing that it kind of matches the Japanese vibe. So yeah.
And so we have kimchi also on the sides, and also sriracha.
Yeah, for deep.
Yeah.
So without further ado, we are gonna go ahead.
Inside of the miso, we have the soup base.
Tiny fork.
Could be the
I have my soup base here as well.
Yeah.
I think should be kimchi flavored. I think this one is.
We got the tiny fork.
I'm gonna open up my soup base.
Okay, we are doing this simply, okay, because we just wanted to try it, right? So, if you, I believe some mukbangers, they followed exactly what's in the picture. Like this, they have half-boiled eggs and some vegetables, right? I think some mukbangers they will follow, but since we just wanted to try it, and
yeah, mine would have tofu and
so
tofu and spring onions and whatnot. So let me describe the smell of the soup base. Mine actually smells like gochujang, and then we have all the dried stuff. Wee. Alright. And then we have hot water. We just boil this water.
In the vegetable.
Put my spoon on top. Oops.
Okay.
Right. So this week we are going to talk about Paula Welden. Paula Welden. Her case is in the end of 1940s. Yeah, so not many people know about this particular case.
So Paula Welden was the eldest of four daughters of the well-known industrial engineer, architect and designer by the name of William Archibald.
Yeah, Archibald. Yeah.
Welden and his wife Jean Douglas. They hailed from Stamford, Connecticut. At that time, William Archibald was employed by the Revere Copper and Brass Company, where he was the designer of many familiar household utensils. Maybe one of these? No, just joking. So, as well as stylish cocktail shakers and other objects. In 1945, Paula Welden graduated from Stamford High School and went on her freshman year at Bennington College. So while at Bennington College, the year is now 1946, Paula is by now a sophomore at Bennington College in North Bennington, Vermont, I guess. Her college dormitory was Dewey House, one of the older dormitories on the college grounds. As a general fact, the remains of this dormitory still stand to this day. Oh, that means someone might have also have this dormitory, yeah? Okay. So on the afternoon of December 1st, Paula decided to hike a portion of the famous Long Trail. What is the Long Trail, you may ask? So the Long Trail is a hiking trail located in Vermont, running the length of the state. It is the oldest long-distance trail in the United States, constructed between 1910 and 1930, okay, by the Green Mountain Club. So this trail is located a few miles from her campus. So according to reports, Paula actually tried to get some other students to join her that day, but they were busy.
Oh no.
So she eventually decided to
She
go.
went on her own?
Yeah.
Oh.
I think that's the worst mistake of all joggers. Try not to go on by your own. Okay. So she decided to just walk a portion of the long trail and not the entire trail.
Okay. So maybe she thought that it's safer.
Yeah. So
Okay, so I think our noodles are done. So before we continue the story,
yeah,
we shall.
we'll just take a look. Yeah, I think it's done.
Yeah, I think mine is done as well.
Oopsie. Let's take the whole entire thing.
It looks like a normal Maggi noodles, normal ramen. For the kimchi one, right? It smells really sour.
Oh, there's a taste of curry. I mean, of course, it's Karai, right? Karai miso.
Oh, so
Taste of
Karai means curry? Okay, I'm so dumb.
What is it? Okay.
I thought it was just the name Karai miso.
So, yeah, it tastes of curry, and also there's a taste of miso.
Yeah, let me try the kimchi, Sarang kimchi.
But actually,
The smell
What I
is
can
a little
remember-
bit turned off for me though. Okay, mine tastes masam and pedas. It's sour and spicy.
oh yeah, so
It's
sour.
kind of strange, right?
Yeah.
The flavor for this particular one. Let me try yours.
Yeah, M.
Oh, you have
Yeah,
corn here.
So M's is for me not my type. It's sour. What do you think?
Okay, between the two, I'll prefer the karai miso.
Really?
Yeah. Would you
Yep.
prefer mine?
No, because for me, I don't really like sour things. Sour things. Sour things. Okay. So anyway.
I'm gonna try the noodles. I mean, the noodles are. It's not those thick ramen noodles like those Korean Shin ramen and whatnot. It's the typical Maggi type of noodles. Jom kau makan semua.
How about you? Mine is a good timing for me. I like this kind of noodle. It's a little bit chewy, not too soft, and of course not too hard lah. I mean, still.
Like for mine, I mean, yes, I like the texture. Even without the kimchi, it really is really kind of sour already. So I kind of like doubt I would finish my kimchi.
You may good. How about it? I'm not a fan of sour things. How about you guys? You like sour stuff?
You know, the Koreans, they would use this. And then
Yeah, I did before.
they will divide it into two. And then a quarter, like this. And then they will open up one portion. And that's how they eat their... It became a cup, right guys? So, they will do it like this. Ta-da! I think the Koreans and Japanese are very innovative people. Right, I'm gonna try the prawn and squid thing. We have what's this?
Sriracha.
Sriracha. So basically, guys, we are very Asian this week.
How do you like it?
This one, I like it.
Okay, I'll try this one. This one is again what? Tofu something?
No,
Oh, what's
it's
it?
kimchi fish strip.
Yeah.
Korean kimchi fish strip.
Okay.
I'm gonna eat my karage looking thing with kimchi.
This one, guys. See? It's more to like fish cake. Normal fish cake.
Fish cake. Oh,
Yeah.
do you like it?
Yeah. But you can
The texture?
taste the a bit of the kimchi. Not really that sour like our sour.
This is very sour.
Yeah, but you can taste a bit of the kimchi.
Maggi, please reduce the sourness. It's damn sour. You can see the, I don't know if you can see from there, but you see? It's prawn. I can see the prawn there. And I can taste the squid as well. This is from CB, by the way, guys.
See?
CB. This one, I don't know. It's a Korean brand, but it's halal.
Yeah.
We got all this from NTUC Fair Price. I don't got it on my shirt. You know, in Korean, they have their what's it called? Convenience store food. This is like their version of convenience store food for us. NTUC food. Okay, so I'm gonna talk about the disappearance, Paula Welden's disappearance. So let me tell you the story.
Okay.
After finishing her shift at the Bennington College dining hall, Paula returned to her room, changed into her working clothes. Considering the weather for that day, her clothes was considered adequate.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, she wasn't wearing too much, she wasn't wearing too little. Yeah, she was wearing light, and it doesn't seem that she was anticipating the drop in temperature for that night. I mean, if she did decide to go to like say run away and do weird kind of stuff in the forest, she would have been more prepared for the lower temperature, right? But she was only wearing her light walking gears, so which means she has no intention of running away. She has no intention of meeting someone and then flee. No, right? So she did not pack any bags with her, nor did she pack any extra clothes. She did not even take extra money with her, right? So you can actually think, if you are investigating a case, you would look at this kind of stuff, right?
True.
Like this person, she doesn't have this kind of intentions. So from all of this information, we kind of know that Paula did not expect to be gone for long. She only wants to go for walks for that few hours and then expect to be returned. Expect to be returned. Expect to return back home. Reports mention that she walked down the campus driveway, hitched a ride from State Route 67A near the college entrance in North Bennington to a point on State Route 9 near the Furnace Bridge between downtown Bennington and Woodford Hollow. Someone actually drove her as far as his house on Route 9, about 9 kilometers from the Long Trail. And this person is a local contractor called Louis Knapp. You may think that at this point, Louis Knapp may be no, stop there, because he's innocent in this case. Okay, so because you might be thinking, okay, so this guy actually drove her. Stop it right there. This guy is innocent because they are hikers. So after she left this guy's car, there are hikers who actually saw Paula walking on the trail itself. So he did whatever report that he made to the police, that he took this girl from this place to to whatever route 9, right? It is true. Okay, so he stopped her there, and then she went on her way to the trail, and then people who were hiking down from the trail actually do see her. Yeah, so the moment he dropped Paula, at this point it's assumed that she either hitchhiked or walked the rest of the way to the start of the trail in Woodford Hollow. Once Paula reached the start of the trail, as mentioned, she met and conversed with few people coming downwards from the trail. She then continued walking north on the road portion of the trail, which is in modern times called Harbour Road. So remember I mentioned that she was on the long trail in the late afternoon? So as you can imagine by now, darkness was falling as she was approaching the end of the Harbour Road. Right? She may have continued into the quickly darkening forest, and it was presumed that she must have continued her walk along Bowlesbrook Valley. Although there was no known confirmed sightings of her passing the Faye Fuller camp. Alright, so now I'm going to go into the search. Alright, the original missing person flyer for Paula Welden was dated 1946. Paula did not return to campus, so naturally her roommate thought she must have gone to the library to study for exams. But the next morning, Paula still did not return. So college administrators were immediately notified, and they started a search within the campus itself. The Bennington County State Attorney was also notified, and the county sheriff was brought in to help with the search. Over the next couple of days, one of the hikers that Paula had approached identified her from the photo in the Bennington Banner newspaper where he worked. So this is how the authorities came to find out about Paula's visit to the long trail. So by now, weeks had passed since Paula's disappearance. Her campus, Bennington College, closed for several days for the search. Students and faculty participated in searches organized by several parties. Hundreds of volunteers, family members, National Guard troops, students, firefighters searched for Paula, but they just couldn't find her. Grounds and air searches concentrated on the long trail up as far as Glastonbury Mountain, which is about 16 kilometers to the north. The trail's various branches and along Route 9 from Bennington to Battleboro. At this point, people are assuming that she had gotten lost in the woods since there were no clues or evidence found as to her whereabouts. People are considering other theories.
So some theories that were speculated at this point is that Paula had been unusually high spirits and had decided to run away to start a new life.
I doubt it.
Yeah.
I doubt that theory.
Second, she was going to meet a secret lover and eloped with him.
I doubt that theory as well.
So she had become injured and suffered from amnesia. Could be. Yeah?
Might be.
So this theory is a little darker in comparison to the other three. That is, she was depressed and may have committed suicide. Could be too. But
where's her body?
Yeah, where's the body. Or she might have been kidnapped or murdered, which I guess may be the number 5.
Kidnapped and murdered.
Out of all 5. So this could be for me lah.
So that means her body has been transported outside of the forest.
Could be after she was murdered, she been buried. Nobody knows.
Okay.
Yeah. So at the time of Paula's disappearance, there was no state police organization in Vermont. Also, yeah.
I mean, I think this is very common.
Yeah.
Last time.
Yeah, it was maybe. Okay.
In the US, common.
Yeah. So, Almo Franzoni is the state attorney who is also the county sheriff, and state investigator was responsible for finding clues.
See? One person, 3 jobs.
Yeah. Paula's father, William Archibald, pressed the investigators and Governor Mortimer R. Proctor to bring in additional professional law enforcement help. Proctor asked Governor Raymond E. Baldwin of Connecticut to lend assistance, which eventually led to Connecticut State Police Detective Robert Rundle and State Policewoman Dorothy Scoville to be assigned to the case. Yeah. So they interviewed every person who saw or thought that saw Paula, and every person who lived along the route she took, or who were simply in the vicinity of the long trail on that December afternoon.
So anybody who actually they thought that
Whoever,
meet her,
they will be
they were
interviewed.
interviewed. Okay.
So the investigators discovered that one of the last people to see Welden alive was a lumberjack named Fred Gadet. I'm sorry if I pronounced it wrong. I didn't the name wrongly. So Fred lived in a shack along Harbor Road. Remember, she walked this road, Harbor Road, right? Okay. So according to reports, Paula was walking on this road when Fred saw her. He was in the midst of an argument with his girlfriend. It seems of which he mentioned that he had stormed off in a jealous rage, shortened thereafter, and went to his shack and spent the evening by himself. In another version, he said that he drove his truck up the travel portion of the trail, which is where Paula was heading towards at that time.
This guy sounds a bit shady, eh?
So, because Fred lied to the police on several occasions, he became the person of interest.
See?
Definitely.
What would you lie to the police for?
Yeah.
Unless you're crazy, ah.
Yeah. So both in 1946 and when the case was revisited in 1952, wow, took quite a while. Huh?
Yeah.
So reportedly, Fred told at least 2 people that he knew within 100 feet where Welden was buried. See? So however,
So damn shady.
however, he later...
I think it's him, eh? I think it's
Yeah,
him.
definitely. So he later claimed it was just idle talk. The sad part is that no evidence was found.
You think it's funny, ah? Sorry.
The sad part is that no evidence was found that a crime had actually been committed. No body or traces of human remains was ever discovered, and no forensic clues were identified. He was left off, and the investigation ended. Done that. I don't know what happened. So, what's happened after that? Okay, so how the local law enforcement had handled Paula's case was sharply criticized by William Archibald, Paula's father, and many others. It was pointed out that the lack of a statewide law enforcement organization and the lack of training of local sheriffs. I believe so too, because back then maybe training was not so tough as what it is right now.
Yeah.
Right. So Vermont State Police was created within several months after Paula Welden's disappearance.
This thing is damn nice, yeah.
I knew it.
Have you ever heard Bermuda Triangle? Have you ever heard of Bennington Triangle?
Never.
Well, apparently, Paula Welden's disappearance is not the first one. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So, within that 5 years, 5 people were found missing within that area, which led to New England author to coin the area as Bennington Triangle, in reference to Bermuda Triangle and its mystery.
The first one, Midi Rivers, 1945. So this happened a year before Paula was missing. On November 12, 1945, when 74-year-old Midi Rivers disappeared while out hunting. Rivers was guiding a group of 4 hunters up the mountains. On the way back, Rivers got ahead of the group and never seen again. An extensive search was conducted, but the only evidence discovered was a single rifle cartridge that was found in a stream. The speculation was that Rivers had leaned over and the cartridge had dropped off his pocket. Could be. So, yeah. So the disappearance had occurred in the Long Trail Road area, the Vermont Route 9. Rivers was an experienced hunter and fisherman and was familiar with the local area.
So number 2, Paula Welden, 1946. The second case was the case of Paula Welden, which we had just discussed. A report by an elderly couple who were about 100 yards or 91 meters sort of behind her. According to them, she turned a corner in the trail, and when they reached the same corner, she had disappeared. Strange, right? And an extensive search was conducted when Paula didn't return to the campus, which included the posting of a $5,000 reward. Oh, $5,000 is a huge amount of money back then. Reward and help from the FBI. However, no evidence of her was ever found. Also, she was not wearing a jacket, and considering that it was 50 degrees outside, I think this is a Fahrenheit, which I think is about 20-ish or maybe lower.
Lesser.
And then later dropped to 9 degrees. That night makes it even more of a mystery. Fun fact: Paula's disappearance was the inspiration of the 1951 novel Hanksman by Shirley Jackson.
So, number 3, James Tedford, 1949. James E. Tedford, also spelled as Tedford or Tedford, a veteran, was the third person to disappear. He went missing on December 1st, 1949. So exactly 3 years after Paula Welden had disappeared. Tedford was the resident of the Bennington Soldiers' Home. He had been in St. Albans visiting relatives and was returning home on the local bus when he vanished. Can you imagine? He can even vanish in the bus.
Maybe he left the bus?
No. Nobody saw him leaving. So according to witness, Tedford got on the bus and was still on the bus at the last stop before arriving in Bennington. See, told you. So somewhere between the last stop and Bennington, Tedford vanished. His belongings were still in the luggage rack, and an open bus timetable was on his vacant seat.
Whoa, just imagine.
Yeah.
Oh my god! So strange.
Crazy, right?
Okay, the fourth person to vanish was 8-year-old Paul Jeffson. On October 12, 1950, Jeffson had accompanied his mother in a truck. She left her son unattended while she fed some pigs. His mother was gone for about an hour. When she returned, her son was nowhere inside. Search parties, he just went missing. Search parties were formed to look for the child. Nothing was ever found, though Jeffson was wearing a bright red jacket. That should have made him more visible, right? Bright red jacket. According to one story, bloodhounds tracked the boy to a local highway where, according to local legends, 4 years earlier, Paula Welden had disappeared. It's the same place.
Same place. Okay, so number 5, Freda Langer, 1950. So the fifth and the last disappearance occurred 16 days after Jeffson had vanished. On October 28, 1950, Freda Langer, 53, and her cousin Herbert Elsner left their family campsite near the Somerset Reservoir to go on a hike. So during the hike, Langer slipped and fell into a stream. She told Elsner if he would wait, she would go back to the campsite, change clothes, and catch up to him. So when she did not return, Elsner made his way back to the campsite and discovered Langer had not returned, and that nobody had seen her since they had left. So over the next 2 weeks, 5 searches were conducted, involving aircraft, helicopter, and up to 300 searches. No trace of Langer was found during the search on May 12, 1951. Her body was found near Somerset reservoir in an area that had been extensively searched 7 months previously.
So they actually found, this is the first one they actually found the body, I think.
So no cause of death could be determined because of the condition of her remains. To this day, the cause of her death was never revealed.
So she must have like decomposed like really bad.
So Langer was the last person to disappear and the only one whose body was found. No direct connections have been identified that tie these cases together, other than the general geographic area and that time of the period.
So guys, what do you think of these mysterious disappearances? Could they be really missing, ran away, murdered, kidnapped, Bigfoot, maybe? What do you think of the geographical area? Can it really be possible that these cases are related to the area? But why these 5 people and only for a period of 5 years, right? Some argue that these people were abducted, experimented on, and remains discarded. Do you agree? Whatever it is, we hope that these souls could rest in peace.
So don't forget to hit the subscribe button and light up the notification bell so that you get all the latest updates whenever we post a new video.
Don't forget to comment about today's story in the comment section below and smash that like button. Oh, share this video too with whomever you know.
So we'll see you next week.
Bye. Assalamualaikum.